Welcome to the Man Up channel. I am your host, Bob Buckland, and with me today is John Font.
Hello, how we doing today?
Today we're going to be talking about Looney Tunes past and present, some of the stuff that they've been banning over the years, and some of the new stuff that they decided was bad and decided to ban as well. If you've watched Looney Tunes for a long time, you probably know where I'm going to go with this, and if you're new to Looney Tunes, it's a great place to start talking. One of the first cartoons I want to bring up, if you guys haven't watched it, is an older cartoon called Fresh Hare. And in it, Elmer Fudd, he's a Mountie at the time, chasing down Bugs Bunny. Great cartoon. I think it was right around 7 minutes long. Overall, it was really funny. A lot of the same gags you would expect from Looney Tunes. Right up until the very end of it is something that we can look on now, and none of us would be really happy to see. They did do some blackface, did some very negative stereotypes and racism in this cartoon. And for that, we all can agree that the cartoon did deserve to be banned. They could have just cut out that last 20 seconds of it, whatever that was, and the rest of it would have been still a fairly funny cartoon.
Yeah, you end up with a lot of cartoons. I mean, I never realized until, obviously till I got older, but how much they used Looney Tunes for World War II propaganda and for training videos and all kinds of things to basically, it was something that everybody could watch. Everybody could identify with, and the fact that they got to the point of like, well, these are racist things and we shouldn't be saying these things about these people. Just making them, like in the one I was talking about, they made all the black people have men voices. So all the black women in the show had men's voices. So, I mean, you have to change with, and I think, the understanding and the perspective of other people and being more sensitive to that. I think that's understandable.
I guess we can all agree that as the time progresses and we can see pretty much how we can evolve as a nation, as a culture, as a population, that we can come together and agree that this is not funny. Wish it wasn't funny when we made it, but we can see how we've progressed as a people this way. And it's something to remember that we've came this far. Instead of just hiding it, we need to remember the lessons that we've learned along the ways, and Looney Tunes is a great way to remember that.
Yeah, I think that's really true, and I think it's fun to listen to the kids at where I work. They, the seniors that are 18, 19, and listen to them sing, Wonder Pets and Little Einsteins and stuff, and I just think it's interesting how much influence that stuff has on them. These are kids that are getting ready to go to college, and they remember they can all sing, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, we can all can. I was listening to something about SpongeBob, and I completely blanked out that SpongeBob is over 20 years old now.
Wow. Yeah, that makes
that
perfect
is
sense.
crazy.
I remember when he first came out and the whole thing, and I just thought it was a really silly Looney Tunes at the time, because I was probably, let's see, if it was 20 years ago, so I'd have been about 20, so I thought it was just kind of dumb, but everybody loved it, and he's been around for a long time. How long have The Simpsons been around?
30-some years now?
I was thinking it was 30-some-odd years. Because I remember I was younger when my mom
They were late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
And I thought at the time, like, why can't I watch this? It's a cartoon. Because I was probably like 12, so you got to watch all cartoons.
I wasn't well allowed to watch that stuff either, and it's just weird now.
Have you ever gone back and watched old Simpsons from the beginning?
Not Simpsons. I have done it with South Park, though.
Oh, okay.
South Park also was mid-90s, late 90s, something like that. They're roughly the 23rd, 24th seasons coming out this fall.
Wow.
And, back when it started, I didn't really care about it. And I know we're getting way off topic, but South Park is probably one of my favorite cartoons now, so we'll just give it a quick how do you do. But I just love the fact that they can take pot shots as either side. They don't care. Yeah, they really are one of the only shows out there on TV right now that keep it real. Yeah. And I love it for it.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of South Park. I just think it's interesting how other shows have tried to copy that, like BoJack Horseman. What's that guy's name?
BoJack Horseman.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And other Netflix shows, Archer and so on and so forth.
I love the fact that they don't care about being politically correct.
Right.
And that I think there's just a whole generation of people out there that are just tired of having to step around and being politically correct about everything. It's like, no, we just want to laugh.
Right. But there's too many people out there in Hollywood, I think, that will blackball you for doing and saying the wrong thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's impossible almost to make it anywhere in Hollywood without
it was
right pedigree and knowing the right people.
And I think they really steered into the curb with being politically incorrect, and it is just doing them wonders. They're not going to go anywhere for a long time.
No, I don't think so.
But back to Looney Tunes.
Back to the Looney Tunes where we go before. I guess it's on HBO. They're relaunching Looney Tunes for 2020.
They are. It is on HBO Max. You can't watch it on any other platforms right now. Every once in a while. I just watched one on YouTube. It was Yosemite Sam and a Bugs Bunny cartoon. And you know what? It was funny. It felt a lot like the same old Looney Tunes we grew up on. A lot of quick little shenanigans. A bundle of dynamite. And Yosemite Sam got blown up by the end of the cartoon. It was great.
Right. Would they have blown up Yosemite Sam if he was black?
Ooh.
Or is that racist? But because
I think that might be
racist.
racist. Bugs Bunny can't blow up a black person. That would be racist.
Mexicans?
Is Speedy Gonzales still a thing?
Speedy Gonzales was the Bugs Bunny. Speedy Gonzales never went up against Bugs. He was usually getting chased by...
Sylvester the cat, I believe.
I know he was getting chased by one of the...
Yeah, but Speedy Gonzales likes my sister. He likes everybody's sister.
Andale. Yeah, no, I think it's funny. They've changed it a little bit, not a ton, but it's gotten a lot of press. And the director, he directed Uncle Grandpa and Secret Mountain Fort Awesome. We were looking mostly a lot of Nickelodeon things. And his name was Peter Braungart. So, but he has made a statement. I think you had that statement up there, Rob.
Yeah, it's he had a statement on the CNN as to why Elmer Fudd doesn't have his gun anymore, and to put it blank, as he just doesn't want to carry guns anymore. They also have the same amount of shenanigans that they normally do with the dynamite, explosives, Acme, all that good stuff. But you won't see Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam running around with their guns anymore. I seen a picture, I'm not sure if there's a cartoon yet about it, but you see Elmer Fudd running around with a scythe trying to hunt Bugs Bunny.
And I think that's crazy, because if you ever saw a hunter with a scythe trying to kill something, you would be horrified. Because you don't want... First of all, can't get close enough normally to something to kill it with a scythe anyway. And second of all, do you really want to behead a deer with a scythe while you're out hunting?
No, it's... You know, I've been hunting many years. Something if you're raised to do is you respect the nature of the hunt. It's you don't want to just injure or maim the animal, but when you want to go out to hunt, you want a good clean kill because you don't want the animal to suffer. There is a general respect to the sport of hunting. And for you to show a cartoon with Elmer Fudd just swinging around the scythe all willy-nilly, it takes away from the culture, the respect that is hunting.
Well, maybe that's why there's been such a strong reaction to this, because the reaction would be twofold. For somebody like you who's been hunting, that makes sense. But to somebody like me, that's just part of Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd's outfit. Like, that's part of what they do. That's part of how they react. It'd be like if you took a guy and said, this guy's Spider-Man, but he's not wearing the Spider-Man outfit. You're like, well, that doesn't work. It's not really him. So, I mean, I think for me, that's always been like his trusty sidearm that he's always carried. And Yosemite Sam has done some silly stuff with his pistols and so on and so forth, but I don't think it's as much about the gun. I don't know. Maybe kids these days would play Fortnite, and they know more about guns than most kids because they have to identify their guns before they get shot by some other clown in a tomato suit.
Yeah, trying to say a way that they're trying to get away from guns because, well, let's face it, they want to get away from guns because the narrative is gun is bad. Let's just call it what it is. And you're not going to do that. Guns is way too popular. They're in all of our movies. They're in all of our video games. They are a part of life. And by trying to take this away, you're taking away a part of life. And it's not going to work.
Well, it is going to work for him because he's the director. So it'll all depend on whether people want to watch it or not. It's the same way like Gillette making a anti-male razor commercial and then airing it and wondering why nobody likes it and everybody took their money elsewhere.
There is a way around this. I know we talked a little bit about it, but I mean, even if you remember to some of the older Looney Tune cartoons, they had Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam in them, and they didn't use guns, and it was a whole cartoons, but they weren't trying to replace it with a different deadly weapon.
Right.
There was one, I don't remember the title of it, but Elmer Fudd, he was a homeowner. He bought a pet, which was Bugs Bunny, and then it was 6 or 7 minutes of that kind of shenanigans where Bugs Bunny was trying to get in the house because he didn't want to be outside. And overall, it was funny.
Yeah, and I think that that's still true. I mean, there's still things that are out there. But truthfully, when you look at this guy, he's almost exactly the same age as me. And he's been doing videos and animating for pretty much his entire adult life. He doesn't even know what real people are. Probably, like you said, he's probably never been hunting before in his life.
I can guarantee it if he's trying to show a hunter run around swinging a scythe.
Right, and so I think a lot of it is just a disconnect. I mean, he lives in New York and doesn't have those things. People out here, we hear guns going off all the time because people are hunting groundhogs or people are hunting squirrels or whatever it may be in their yard. A gun is a useful tool out here. And so, like, I was talking to a friend of mine in California, and when she heard, I said, oh, yeah, there's just somebody shooting over there. She was like, aren't you scared? And I'm like, no, they're not shooting at me. They're shooting at some varmint that they want to get rid of.
A wascally wabbit.
Yeah. I didn't hear the dynamite go off, so they probably didn't use that. But I think it's definitely more of a tool out here in the country than it is in the city.
You can't tell me there's not gun owners in the city. We've seen trending for the last 2 months now that gun sales are up and they're through the roof. Everyone's buying a gun right now. But that's not here or there. We're back to Looney Tunes. We were talking about different ways of fixing this instead of Elmer Fudd using a scythe. He could have used, which I've heard from other YouTubers, him using a bow and arrow, which, cool, bow and arrow, crossbow. Even a slingshot would be better than him trying to run around with a scythe.
Well, I think about Wile E. Coyote. Like, he always was using different things to capture the Roadrunner. And so, I mean, I don't ever think that it would be hard to replace it for comedic things. You're never going to make this generation, I don't think, happy unless you give him back his shotgun, because we are just used to seeing him with a shotgun. Like I said, it'd be like Mega Man without his helmet, or some other superhero, Thanos without his glove, or Iron Man without his suit, Captain America without his star. It's hard to separate those people from what you remember as an icon. And I think there's a lot of that going on right now in Hollywood because they don't like the way that things were made in the first place, but they want to change it, but they still want everybody to be on board with it. And I think that's hard.
Well, my number one suggestion to fixing this, which, Peter, if you are listening to this, maybe you should ask someone that's actually hunted rabbits before what you could have done to replace a shotgun. My answer to this would be introduce Elmer Fudd's new beagle, a new little puppy. And he's out there just trying to train him to hunt rabbits. There's be all kinds of shenanigans you could get in, almost like, what was that? Henry the Chicken Hawk. You remember him with the Frog Laker cartoons? How he didn't know what a chicken was? Yeah. It could be, I'm sorry, essentially the same character, just with a little puppy trying to figure out what a rabbit is. Would be a really great shenanigans right there. Especially when you introduce Daffy Duck with rabbit season, duck season again. I mean, can you imagine what Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck would be doing to screw with this little puppy?
Yeah, and I think that would be funny. People love puppies. You can't get away from the puppy, so.
That's a win-win right there. And it took me 5 minutes to think of it.
You haven't been a writer your whole life, though. You actually are a hunter, so that changes things up. So
I know it's weird with life experience.
Life experience can bring you a lot of good writing material because you actually been there.
You know what? While we're on the subject, do you have any favorite Looney Tune characters or cartoons?
I've always liked Marvin the Martian because I've always thought it was hilarious that he would come down and the first person he would meet would be Bugs Bunny. Nobody awesome, just like he'd meet Bugs Bunny and try and steal his stuff. So I always liked Marvin because I thought he was funny. And the thought of an extraterrestrial coming down and meeting a bunny was just hilarious to me. So it didn't even matter what was going on most of the time. I just thought it was hilarious. And then I know Daffy Duck, he'd meet Daffy Duck and like be like, oh my gosh, and you'd get all crazy. So
With Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. Oh gosh, those were great cartoons. My favorite, I really got to give it to Rabbit Season, Duck Season. Yeah. I just love how Bugs Bunny would trick Daffy Duck and then Elmer Fudd would just blow him in the face.
Yeah. And they would just like leave him there. Oh gosh, that was fun.
All right, let's try it again. I'll start first. Duck Season.
And then he'd just teach him what was going on. But I always thought they always did a very good job with Looney Tunes, and I think that's why they've maintained even to this day from almost over 80 years ago. They've been making Looney Tunes, and they have very distinct personalities for each of the characters. I think some of that had to do with their get-ups and things that went on, but yeah.
Well, it's like, I know that was a staple in my childhood. The Bugs Bunny and Tweety show, Saturday morning, you couldn't get away from it. They've done a couple of movies, such as Space Jam. There was one with Brandon Fraser. I can't remember the title off of that right offhand, but that was still funny. Yes, I believe they are making a second Space Jam now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, with LeBron James, if I remember right.
Oh. And they had, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh my gosh, that was a great cartoon. I still watch that.
Yeah. It had to do with, just cartoons in general. And I think that's another reason it goes well is because they just exaggerate things that we do in our everyday lives and just make them ridiculous. Like you're actually a hunter. You've actually gone hunting, but the barrel of your shotgun is never like folded over because you made such a bad shot.
No, my shotgun has never blown up for putting your finger in the end of the barrel.
That's good. I don't know who else would do that. And I don't know bunnies that have that big of fingers to stick in your barrel, but anyway. Those, as we say, a lot of them were like catch and chase things like Tom and Jerry. Tom always was chasing. It was the other way around.
Yes, Tom was the cat chasing Jerry. Granted, Jerry was normally a prick about it.
Yeah, and then who were the two? There were two mice, and they got chased around. And Sylvester the cat always chased a Tweety Bird. Did Wile E. Coyote chase Speedy Gonzales?
I don't think so. I remember Sylvester chasing Speedy, and you know what? No, there was a crossover. There was a cartoon of who's faster, Speedy Gonzales or Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote and Sylvester teamed up, and they were trying to catch those two. Oh, I do remember that.
I would have been there to watch that. And then Pepe Le Pew. I always thought that was funny.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back, bro. I really doubt in today's day and age that Pepe Le Pew is going to be making a comeback anytime soon.
Oh, but it was so good.
They would have a heyday with his womanizing and toxic masculinity. And probably him just being a skunk in general is offensive now.
I don't know how being a skunk is offensive. It's how you're born, and that's how it is. It's okay about it. Okay. Oh, yeah, Tiny Toons. I remember when those came out. And Rocky and Bullwinkle. My mom used to watch those, and she was like, you gotta watch Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Did you know that Tiny Toons has a band episode too?
Yeah, I was just watching that.
That was when Buster and the gang got drunk.
Yeah.
A whole episode about getting drunk.
One beer.
I don't know why they felt like we needed that.
I'm not sure myself. The Animaniacs, I don't know how they made anything. They were crazy.
I love the Animaniacs.
They were definitely crazy.
They're actually getting a reboot.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was supposed to be coming out this year, but I think it got pushed back.
Probably because of COVID. Wouldn't shock me all that stuff got pushed back because of COVID. I know that's what the one guy was saying about these Looney Tunes is they started production on these right after the shooting in Los Angeles, and nobody in Hollywood wanted to touch anything gun related, and so they decided to cut the guns altogether. Then he said he wouldn't do any guns after that. So,
well, I get trying to sit clear from guns, especially with what's going on right now, with all the hate, with all the shootings. But at the same time, these are cartoon characters. I mean, it's infuriating that you can get offended by a cartoon character. If you don't like it, there's so much other stuff to watch on TV right now. You can just click.
Well, and there's other random stuff that's just even 10 times more offensive that's out there on Netflix and so on and so forth.
I mean, they even got the show on HBO Max.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's Nickelodeon or Nick
Scroll
Jr.
down and click Game of Thrones and then go from there.
I don't get it.
Nothing in Game of Thrones is offensive at all.
I've never actually watched Game of Thrones.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Nope. Sometimes they make decisions and you don't agree with them, but the best thing you can do is just not throw your money at them, I guess. So, HBO Max, I will not be renewing my subscription.
With closing, it's we can agree that some things needed to be banned in Looney Tunes and some other things don't need to be banned in guns. Anyways, Looney Tunes, we still love it. I'm never gonna stop watching Looney Tunes. I love the old classics.
The slapstick humor just never gets old.
It doesn't, and there's so many more cartoons out today because of the older Looney Tunes slapsticks comedy, and that cycle of comedy is going to keep on going forever. But at the same time, if you can't show it love, we just need to let it go, and that's how I kind of feel about it.
Yep, that's the sad part. I mean, there's still the old ones, and we'll still watch them, and we'll still think it's funny.
And with that, this is the Man Up channel. We'd love to hear what you guys think about Looney Tunes, especially with Elmer Fudd and his guns. Honestly, I feel maybe he should upgrade and get something bigger, better. Maybe he'll get that Wasky Wabbit finally. Other than that, please like and share, leave a comment, and we will talk to you later.